Hello, hello. Let me know if you can hear me all right in the chat. I think we're good. Hopefully, everyone's week is going all right or has gone all right as we transition into a new week. Say hello in the chat. Professor. Hello, sir. You're gonna have to let me know what your name is because I don't think it's Min, but that's what it shows up as. Can we hear me all right? Hello. Hello from Georgia. Hello from Florida. Hello, old rounder, innocent, Sarah, Starburst the Exile. Hello. I don't think I recognize that username. Pennsylvania, Houston, Texas. I'm in for now. I shall introduce myself out there. The parting of the Red Sea. Okay. Kojo in Norway. Or maybe it's Koho. You know, different languages pronounce the J differently. Netherlands. Victor. Think I might have had an exchange with you earlier, Victor, if you're the same Victor. What's up, Gabriel? Brother Gabriel. All right. Oi, Marcus, Desmond here, the way in South Africa. God told you to get this haircut. I wouldn't say that, but maybe he did. Maybe he did. I actually did. It's so funny. It's so funny you said that. Because I'm gonna tell you about my dream earlier this week. Well, one of the aspects of the dream is I was on a cruise ship, right? Now I had a dream last year where I was on a cruise ship and I was in front of an elevator talking to my family. That's not the dream we're sharing today, but I'll go ahead now. And my uncle was giving me a hard time about my hair, telling me I needed a haircut. So it's so funny that you said that. And I had a dream that's somewhat connected to the dream I'm going to share today, which involves a cruise ship as well. So that's funny. South Africa, hello, Ruth. Communist California. Yeah, that's probably the one state I would not want to live in. Nicole in the UK, JVT, Tony in Ghana. Thank you for keeping me accountable, Marcus. Perhaps you're right. I took it to prayer. Starburst. I wonder what you're referring to. I don't recall. Sorry, I've been very busy. David's Den. Thank you. You know, I pray I'm blessed. Ruth, my husband who never dreams, had a dream about us being on a cruise ship last week. Oh, there we go. Nicole Wells, United Kingdom. Psalms, hello. Okay, I'll be saying hello forever. All right. Hello to everyone. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. All right. So, the purpose of this live stream is to look at Bitcoin and look at where it's going prophetically, based on my dream that has since pretty much come to pass, been fulfilled, and the dream I had this week, which I believe gives indicators as to what to expect next. I'm going to share with you my conversation with Kelly earlier this week or a couple of days ago, which gives some insight as well. All right. Um, I'm going to ask you to do something. For one, like the video. If you have love for me, just like the video for the sake of love. I haven't gotten into it yet, but why not? But I'm going to ask you to do something I rarely ask, and that is to share the video. Why? Here's why. If you allow me to step onto a soapbox just for a minute, all right? I would say, and I'm not boasting. I'm just going to state facts and state what I've observed, okay? I would say out of everyone in this community, I probably shout out other channels the most. I've probably mentioned other channels the most in this community, right? Now, That doesn't mean anybody else ever has to mention other channels or mention me, but I just want to make that point. All right. And then there are also certain channels who what they do is they reshare other people's prophecies, right? There are certain channels in the community, not going to name names, and they'll repost other people's prophecies, right? Now, my channel has never been posted, but I've been in this community. And the thing is, people who have given false prophecies get shared and posted and promoted. People who don't have a accurate prophecy to their name, a fulfilled prophecy to their name, get shared and posted, and I do not, right? But I've been building a track record on this channel of accuracy, right? Not even just with this crypto dreams and Bitcoin, but even with the rotavirus prophecy over a year ago and things of that nature. So to kind of combat the falsehood that gets shared so much, let's share truth. Because not only do I have a track record of accuracy and truth, but what I'm going to share with you today, I fully believe is true. And I think I'm going to give you insight on what to expect next. And so let's share truth. All right. Now I step off my soapbox. Thank you for entertaining me. All right. I'm just scanning the chat. Amen. Amen. I won't read these, but I see you. I see you. All right. So now that that's out of the way, also, if you stay to the end of the live stream, I will gift 10 memberships. Wait, let me check first. Let me make sure that they're here. Hold on one second. Oh, you know what? I got to do it. I can't do it here. I got to do it on my actual channel. I should be able to. We're halfway into February. I should have 10. I'm going to give 10 channel memberships, even though I'm probably transitioning to Patreon soon. And I'm going to make an announcement as well and give you an offer at the end of this video if you stay to the end. All right. Finally, this is not financial advice, as always, right? We are liable for our own money. Okay, so quick, brief recap of the original elevator dream. This is going to be very brief because we've covered this multiple times, but I understand there may be new people. Okay, so if you are new to this, I will, after this stream, I will create put end screens with the original videos as well as put it in the description so you can catch up. But very briefly, the original elevator dream in October 2022, I stepped on an elevator. I pressed floors number 43, 48, 50, and 52. The elevator rocketed up to 43, stopped, rocketed up to 48, stopped, and got stuck at 48. And then the dream ended. But the way the dream ended, it was like a to be continued. I even said in the original video, it's not like I was hopeless when the dream ended. All right. And since we have seen Bitcoin follow that pattern recently in the past couple of months. We've seen it go to 43 and settle. We've seen it go to 48 quickly and settle, right? Then it fluctuated between 43, 48 for a couple of weeks or so. And then a couple of weeks ago, it went back up to 48. And then this week it went to 50. And then now it's at 52, hovering around 52, which was the last floor that I pressed in the original elevator dream. And the interesting thing about 52 is the day that it hit 52, Bitcoin hit 52 for the first time this year, is the day after I had my newest dream. Okay. So it's almost like the original dream is fulfilled. And within that same day, I had a new dream that I believe indicates what to expect next. And I mean, that's pretty amazing. All right. So, to kick things off, I'm going to tell you the new dream and then we'll get into it, right? Don't leave after I tell the dream. There's a lot more to get into after I tell the dream. All right. Let me look at the chat real quick. Thank you, David, for sharing. JVT, preach. Thank you. Greetings from Las Vegas, my favorite place that I've ever lived, and not for the sinful stuff. Thank you, Nicole, for sharing. I hear you. I have seen this, even witches' dreams being shared in the wealth transfer community channels. Yep. Hello, better late than never. Hello, Cora. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate that. All right. So the new dream which I had, and forgive me, y'all. If you remember, tell me what day I posted. I went live because that was the morning of. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday because I went on my channel, my friend's channel later that day. All right. So the new dream is Tuesday night slash Wednesday morning. All right. I was on a cruise ship. Okay. I wonder if I wanna now I'll just tell the dream and then we'll break it down. So I was on a cruise ship, and this cruise ship had elevators on it, as cruise ships do, if you've ever been on a cruise. I myself have been on 7 cruises, all right? So cruise ships have elevators. But this cruise ship was having issues with elevators, right? Everything about elevators on this ship was negative. I mean, malfunctions, stalling, even dropping, all right? And I knew this before this point in the dream. So, me and my friends, we get onto an elevator. We're going down, right? And the elevator starts to move down, and a cable snaps at the top of the elevator. Now, I knew I had this supernatural knowledge in the dream that there were 2 cables holding the elevator up, and only one had snapped. So the cable snaps and we begin to fall, obviously, because the elevator tips. So we feel like we're in free fall. We begin to panic, and then a voice comes over the intercom that says, "Don't panic. The cable that you're still attached to will pull you to safety." And sure enough, we slowly began to be pulled back up to our starting point. We exited the elevator. We got on a new elevator and went down safely, right? When we were on the new elevator, it was like relief, right? We were going down and we went all the way down to the bottom, right? But slowly, safely, relieved that we weren't in free fall. And that was essentially the dream. All right. So on a cruise ship, now that can mean multiple things. That can just indicate a journey, right? Which I think you'll agree with me, being in this world transfer has been a journey. All right. It can indicate a journey. But what I said on Wednesday in the member section was it could have something to do with the Marine Kingdom, right? Think about how many people have shared dreams in this community that have to do with water. Many people, multiple people. And Sharon herself has said the Marine Kingdom has something to do with this. I believe it too. The Marine Kingdom is tied to the commerce um, that we have in this world, right? A merchant is someone who goes out on the water, right, to do trade and commerce. And now we talk about merchandise for anything that we're selling, right? And there's more connections that you can look up and find, but there's a lot. There's a strong connection to the sea and the water, and if you will, the marine kingdom to what we're doing on the earth, right? I'm seeing the chat going up. Blake said memberships. Brother, what are you talking about, Blake? Yeah, I have a member section. I mean, come on. I don't know how long you've been following my channel, but yeah, I have a member section. You should know this. Um, so that's the thing about the cruise ship, right? And now the elevators. Obviously, I don't need to give symbolism for elevators, right? We've been talking about elevators, but the action of the elevators, everything was negative, right? There were multiple issues with the elevators and it was all negative. And then I had my event on the elevator where one cable snaps, we begin to drop. A voice says, "Don't panic" on an intercom. That to me just gives the sense of God, right? An intercom, right? You can't see them, right? Whoever's talking, you can't see them, but they sound like the voice of authority, and they're telling you, "Relax, calm down, everything will be okay," right? And sure enough, we get pulled back to our starting point, and then we get on to another elevator and go all the way down to the bottom floor. Okay. And I think all of this is kind of self-explanatory when we tie it to Bitcoin and the markets and the wealth transfer, right? Now, actually, I'll wait. I'll wait before going deeper into that. So, Mike says, "Can I get in if I wear my members only jacket?" Brother, usually members only jackets come after you're actually a member. You know what I'm saying? Hello, I forgot how you pronounce that, even though I know your real name. Comma. There will be a live with the sister for marriages. That live stream already happened. That was on Wednesday. Bitcoin crash. Yes. Okay. So now let's talk about my conversation with Kelly. So I messaged Kelly Thursday night, I believe it was, and it wasn't even to talk crypto or wealth transfer. It was just to see how she was doing. We hadn't talked in about a month. And by the way, Kelly's doing well. She's just working a lot, working hard. All right. But Kelly transitioned the conversation to crypto and the markets, and she mentioned how Bitcoin was at 50. Did she say 50 or 52? I have it pulled up here. Let's see. I think she mentioned 50. How Bitcoin was at 50K. Oh no, she said 52. She said we're at 52K and the market cap of the altcoins broke through its resistance Fibonacci the other day, right? And so obviously she's mentioning that to me because of my Bitcoin dream, with 52 being the last number. Okay. And then so I told Kelly, I'm not technical like that. You're going to have to break that down for me. So she sent me a clip from a gentleman named Bitcoin Backer, as I'm sure some of you have heard of. I've featured him on this channel before. And so let's play that clip. Let me share my tab. All right. We're going to play this clip. If there are audio issues, let me know and we'll fix it. All right.
Today, we're going to be taking a quick peek over here at the Bitcoin price chart, which sits at 49,728, along with the altcoin market, which is doing some interesting behavior here as it's threatening to try to break out right now. As you can see on the right side of my screen, everything is green. If you go onto Twitter, everybody is happy because Bitcoin.
Okay, you can hear it. Good thing I know when to stop it. Good thing I went through this ahead of time, and I know
Bitcoin still sits over here within the retracement levels, but today was a move above the 618
it's going to be about
retracement level, still leaving that 702 sitting a few $1,000s higher. But with this move this morning, we're finally seeing some action over here in the altcoin market. One place we could really see that is if we look over there at others, which is the altcoin market excluding the top 10. This is the range that we've been in since early December. So we've really just bounced up and down this range for 2 months after having an A, B, C correction through here in 2024. Just a few moments ago, I can put us on the 1 minute chart, just a few minutes ago, clearing through that last retracement level right there, the 786 retracement, and now gaining some steam over here in the altcoin market this morning. Total 3 is through all retracements. Total and now we're starting to see some optimistic signs that definitely have my stable coins like USDT, USDC, and DAI also through all retracement levels. If you caught my video last week, we were talking about Wyckoff accumulation being in the sign of strength phase, similar to how gold had its sign of strength phase after escaping its Wyckoff accumulation, being on top of the preliminary support, just as we've done over here for the altcoin market. And now we're starting to see some optimistic signs that definitely have my eyes open. Now, as for Bitcoin, of course, I still sit here and say, this is the retracement level throughout all of 2022 and 2023. This is where we said we were heading back to. Now that we've gotten here, of course, you look around, everybody's euphoric, everybody's bullish. Anytime it moves up 2%, it gets hooted and hollered about over there on Twitter. If you dare go onto Twitter and post, hey, it's time to be concerned, you would definitely get chastised right now. Unlike how that is really the type of content that people gravitated to through 22 and 23. As we sit here, all eyes, of course, are on whether or not Bitcoin is going to stall out here into the retracement levels. While I did enjoy a nice 200% rise there for Bitcoin, of course, all the buys that I have made down in here have been sold in here as I wait to see how Bitcoin is going to react into the retracement levels. Things I'm keeping my eyes on are to see if we start having these distribution structures start to form out in here. This initial rejection that we've had in here is very similar to an initial rejection that we've had. And then we go into a longer distribution. If you recall, also, there was lots of euphoria in this moment as well. So we'll keep a close eye on it. But if we add things like the altcoin market to see when these things really took off, if we do see distribution really start to kick in a little bit more in here for Bitcoin at these levels, that was really the phase where things really started to get taken off and going. So just like in here where you set this new high, you can see that the altcoin market does shift up again. However, if there becomes a correction in here like this, it was really that next leg into that next peak of distribution that really got the thing going. Retracement continues going, right? Right now, that still seems to be the most optimistic scenario that I can see on here right now. Of course, everybody would love for it to just break out into new all-time highs and just get ripping and roaring. I would not complain with that at all. History would indicate that would be an absolutely insane moment for the altcoin market if that were to happen. However, as we've shown many times in here, anytime we have come off the lows for Bitcoin.
All right. So that's pretty much the gist of what Kelly shared with me. All right. I just realized that if I put my headphones in, I could hear the audio. But because I did not hear that video, I want y'all to summarize. What was your takeaway from what you just heard? Of course, I've watched it before, but refresh my memory. We can make this interactive. All right. The title of the video was 50,000 hit on Bitcoin price chart as altcoin market clears 2-month retrace distribution structures. 52K is resistance. Hello, Jordan. Correction incoming. Okay. Bitcoin, we will go down. Okay. So next, so then I shared my dream with Kelly. So Kelly sent me that before hearing my dream. I shared my dream with Kelly, and now I'm going to play the audio of what she sent to me. Now, forgive her. She's going to be speaking slowly because she's very tired because she's been working a lot. All right. Let me pull this up.
Marcus. Okay. I believe that you just saw the next piece in the sequence. What I've always envisioned, and I said, we've talked about this, you've heard Sharon talk about it, is we go up in a bull run, and then there is a madness in the markets, and that's when these odd meme coins and things go off during the manipulation or hack or something large and terrifying, probably.
Okay, so that was Kelly's response to hearing my dream. And then she shared with me this video from My Savior is Jesus. And I'm going to skip around. We'll start here.
Then I think 2 days later, two days 2 days later after I had the dream, I had a vision. I was praying and I told the Lord, Lord, give me a sign, give me something, because where the crypto market, what's going on with the crypto market, what's next? So give me a sign. Then right after that, I had a vision, but it was so real. And in the vision, I were able to see people inside an elevator, and the elevator wasn't a free fall. Like imagine accident happen and whatever, the elevator is in a free fall, and people who were inside the elevator is screaming and in panic. Like, "Ah!" So that was it. It was like 2 seconds, and then I had my eyes closed. I was praying, and when that happened, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like imagine when I guess everybody have had a nightmare. So whenever you wake up from the nightmare, you're scared, and then realize, oh, it's just a nightmare, and then go back to sleep. Well, with me, I wasn't sleeping. After I have that vision, I opened my eyes and I was like, oh my god, it was so real that I was scared. And right after that, I was like, okay, Lord, that's the vision you gave me. It's just a vision. So I wanted to share that with you because it was so powerful. It really impacted me. Um, and then I realized, I mean, of course, the vision was after I asked the Lord, hey, please, Lord, uh, give me a sign. Talk to me. What is next for the crypto market? What's ahead? And I had the vision. So I guess no interpretation needed. The crypto market is going down. What we have right now, I think today is the 25th of June. What we have right now is a bull trap. Price is going up just a little bit and then it's going down. This morning, um, when I wake up, I was kind of like daydreaming and thinking about sharing the vision that I had, and the Lord told me something. He said to me, the Holy Spirit said to me, the reason the elevator was going down in a free fall in the vision that you had is because whatever the cord that was holding the elevator, it broke down. Whatever was holding the elevator,
it's here. It's here. It's here. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right.
Broke down. Well, like less than an hour ago, I was praying about it. Lord, I need to share this. I was kind of like organizing my ideas, and the Lord brought to my memory what happened this morning. That He was saying the reason the elevator was going in a free fall, and people were screaming in panic. The reason the elevator was going down is because whatever was holding the elevator broke down. And he said to me, the elevator represent Bitcoin and in general the crypto market. Whatever hold the crypto market is gonna break down. I was like, what? What holds the crypto market? And then the Holy Spirit put in my heart faith and confidence.
All right. So he saw an elevator falling because a cable snapped, just like in the dream I had this week. And Kelly shared that with me. I was like, oh, wow. Right. Now, one last message from Kelly, and then we will talk. All right. So let's see.
So I don't know if you remember, but I sent you a video a while back. Maybe you never got to watch it, but it was a gentleman that I had come across right after I pressed send on my elevator dream. I sent it to Sharon a long time ago, where the dream where I was in free fall, and then I had a subsequent follow up to that this year, where I woke up in my childhood home and I would kept telling myself, Kelly, remember your elevator dream. Withdraw some XRP. Kelly, you remember your elevator dream, withdraw some XRP. And so that's what kind of alerted me that there was going to be a bull run before the fall. And so what you just saw, I believe, is the next piece after the altcoin bull run. And then the madness in the markets is where I see the meme coins go off, these all the prophetic coins, and that's the wealth transfer. And then all the way down to zero again is maybe the ultimate crash of everything. But we know it's got to happen. We know that's a marker for us in time. And then XRP, really, the rocket takes off. People FOMO into that. We were riding the waves of FOMO in Sharon's dream as the men were crying in the sea, and the Japanese men, which, if it has anything to do with our financial markets, or it can even have something to do with a specific major coin. I mean, Satoshi Nakamoto, it's so, who is actually more than one person is what we hear. But, and more than likely the government is involved. So if they take Tether, Bitcoin, whatever it may be, if you're the initial fall, the Tether broke, right? And then we kind of hopped another elevator or another coin. And that's where I see the meme coins and things go off, the prophetic coins. But going back, that guy, he said what held the crypto market broke, what held the elevator broke. The cord that held the elevator broke, and which is a tether. And what held Bitcoin, or what held the crypto market broke. And what I believe holds the crypto market is stable coin. And a stable coin would be Tether. And so who knows? But this is all kind of just how I envisioned it happening. All the pieces that I've kind of just put together through the years. And so what you shared today is really like a depiction of what I've kind of always had in my head. So when we coined the madness in the markets, that's what we had in our head. At least that's what I had in my head. So we'll see. But I think you had another piece in the puzzle there. And with this elevator dream, and you saw God's hand on it through it, and we arrived safely at the bottom, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to arrive safely at the bottom.
All righty. So there's the message from Kelly. If you bear with me one moment, I'm going to pull something up on my members section just to reference later. Un momento. Okay. All right. So Kelly, all right. So let me look at these comments. You hate commercial. The number of people who sell their XRP is crazy just because of tired price. Kelly is wise. Wait, Kelly says she believes Tether could collapse based on the prophetic pieces. If the government goes after Tether, people will scramble to dump Bitcoin. Stablecoin regulation is near. All right, so here's what I'll say. All right, so Kelly mentioned Tether, right? She said, okay, what holds the elevator up is a tether, and she's correct in that. Technically speaking, that is a tether. But she said, the thing is, the guy in his video, he told us what the Lord told him the tether is, the thing holding up the elevator is. He said faith and confidence. He didn't say a stable coin. Now, that's not to say Kelly is wrong. It could be both things, right? A stable coin collapsing, so to speak, would hurt faith and confidence, right? But it sounds like an event, right? Something to happen to shake people's confidence and maybe cause a mass pullout from cryptocurrency that crashes it, potentially, right? Now, so in my dream, one cable snaps, one of two. Somebody on my channel on the member section when I shared this dream, let me pull up the comment. He said, when I heard the dream, I thought perhaps the cable snapping initially is a sort of instinctive reaction to seeing our portfolio going down. I'm not sure how many people realize if said wealth transfer crash happens, it won't be just Bitcoin, but the entire market. So perhaps the initial snap of the cable breaking is like folks realizing their portfolios going down, but the assets are still at their respective locations. After realizing what is going on, believers will now understand that this is the event and will safely walk toward the other elevator. And while that is a good comment, that is not the comment I was looking for. Okay, this is a simple comment from Erkin. He says, if related to crypto, two cables could be USDT and USDC. So he also saw it as potentially being the stable coins, right? Like Kelly did. All right. What does that mean to you? Let me know in the live chat, in the comments. What I see, this is what I see. So here's the prophetic insight portion of the video. What I potentially see. Now, let me be clear. This is not a thus saith the Lord prophetic word. Like this is how it's going to happen. But this is what I see being a seer. I see a run, right? Not, and as the guy put it, he called it a bull trap, right? Rather than a bull run, right? I see a run, which could be the bull trap to get people into the markets, and then it crashes, and people lose their assets, their money. But us who have been expecting this crash will be in position. We won't have anything to worry about. We will know to take profits when this run happens. And then when the crash happens, we'll have our buy limit orders set for, Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So both in the run and in the crash, we should be profiting if we're in position as, the prophetic voices have led us to be, right? That's what I see. What do you see? The bottom line from my dream, from the dream that the gentleman shared, from Kelly's dream, is that a crash is imminent, is inevitable, right? But what happens before the crash? And I believe that's the bull run or the bull trap. Now, before we continue, go ahead and like the stream if you haven't already, if you like the stream. And remember, if you stay to the end, I will be gifting memberships and making an announcement, a special announcement with an offer at the end. All right. Cherubim Church says, God would warn more and be precise if it was USDT because most people put their buy orders in USDT as it has more liquidity. My buy orders are in cash. How about y'all? Are most of your buy orders in USDT or USDC? Mine are in cash. USD, period. A lot of words that USD. Okay, so here's the thing. Kelly is a trustworthy person. Absolutely. But I personally haven't felt that USDT is an issue yet, right? Or these stable coins are an issue yet. At the same time, I don't really have much invested in the stable coins, right? I have sell limit orders in stable coins, but once those sell limit orders hit, I'm not holding stable coins. Like I'm trying to transfer that to another coin or cash withdrawal, whatever the case is. I plan on holding no stable coins, right? So stable coins could still be in trouble, just not before we take profits in a run or a bull trap, as the gentleman put it. Gabriel said he shared with Sharon, I see a bull run prior to the crash I saw in 2 separate dreams, and then we loot, then they dump. My orders are in cash. Yeah, I agree with Gabriel. And I've said this for months now. I've always seen a run before the crash. That's how I've always seen it. That's what makes sense. I even said that in my video earlier this week in the member section, but I said just because it makes sense to me doesn't mean that that's how it's going to happen. But the reason it makes sense to me is keeping in mind all the prophetic words, and just painting a picture based on the prophetic words, based on what I've been shown myself. It just makes sense that a run, even if it's a short, temporary bull run, bull trap, would happen first before the crash. Because if we're supposed to be investing during the crash, where does that money come from? If it crashes first, when we have these investments, guess what? We're being impacted by the crash too. Like, where's the money going to come from to invest at the bottom? How would that be a transfer of wealth? Maybe in our buy limit orders at the bottom, but it's a greater transfer if we're able to take profits before that. Take profits at the top and at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? After it crashes and then rebounds. Philip Paul said it was time to take some profits. Yeah, maybe after a run, there ain't no profits to be taken right now, at least for me. Maybe for some of you. I don't know. There aren't, it's not profit taking time for me. Let's see. Philip Paul does a top 10 portfolio. I might see more on. I don't watch Philip Paul. That's not saying anything. I'm just saying. So I don't really have any opinion on that. I don't have an opportunity exit with USD Cash. I had a dream where 2 Shiba dogs were being held back behind a door by a leash. In the dream, there was someone holding the leash tight. Later, I saw them run through the door without any leash. Okay. Bull run before crash makes most sense to me as well. Hey, brother, I can't get over a go up before a crash. I can't figure out if the SHIB $1 is before or after the crash. However, I see a major run before the crash. I would expect, outside of like some type of glitch situation, I would expect the Shiba $1 to be after the crash. That's not a thus saith the Lord prophetic word. I'm just reasoning here, speculating. All sell orders in USDC for sure. Okay. I expect an altcoin rally February 25th to March 9th. Okay, that's very specific. Yeah, I got no profits to speak of. There's more than one crash, sure. Yeah, and I mean that's even shown in my dream, right? It snapped and there was a short drop and then back up to where we started and then an elevator all the way down to the bottom. God is providing seeds. I think it will help the poor middle class that can't afford to buy Bitcoin at all time highs. Most guys can only do buy orders. So if it happens different than you think, it's because it's a different crash. There's a correction to 30K first, then big bull run. Yeah, and that's another thing people have said prophetically, there's going to be a drop down to 30K and then a run. So who knows if that might be the one cable snapping that's going down to 30K and then a run back to a rebound and maybe it's somewhat above that and then the crash. My wife, who is not into crypto but hears from God, heard Shiba first. Crypto Night. I have orders in USDC and USDT because on KuCoin you can only have so many orders fees in a particular stablecoin. Yeah, I have orders in both, but mostly USDT just because there's more trading volume in USDT. I initially thought we would have had a bull run in the alts prior to the crash because, okay. I'm just going to do some skimming now. I would be so blessed to be part of your membership team, brother. Yeah, Blake, if you just look into the description, there's a link to join the membership, the channel membership. There will be more than one flash crash in Bitcoin. On what basis you pick a comment to read, Mark? I'm reading you. I mean, if you're reading along with me, you see I'm reading line by line, but then it kind of gets clogged up. So then I just start skimming. We'll talk about this Wednesday so much here. I'm really pumped about Luna. Hello, Lauren, by the way. I'm really pumped about Luna. I think it will go to one step before a big crash. Please do another video with brother Pastor Jordan. I'm small time, so whenever he hits me up, no, I'm joking. You were elevated before you got into the elevator, and the one cable snapped. If it's Bitcoin or crypto, it was up first. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that could just mean like I'm where I'm at right now, Now it could be that as well. It could be that as well. But I didn't immediately think, oh, because I was up and eventually going down, that means the markets are up. But it could mean that. Manipulation for first Shiba to $1. Okay. All right. So that's what I think is coming. A run, as maybe called a bull trap, and then a crash. Now, another thing I want to point out is what the brother said in his video at the end of the video. When he said the crash, he said Bitcoin crashing or being crashed down low for like a few days, maybe a few days or maybe 10 days, right? So I want to point out like how short the windows are for this, right? Because I think we may think, and I know I have at times, you think crash and you think, oh, things are going to be bad for a while, or you think run and you think that might last for a while. But these windows can be small, right? Like last year when WikiCat made its run, it did it within 2 weeks, when WikiCat made its run, and that's the beginning of last year. Now, at the end of last year, when it made a run as well, like 350% in a couple of weeks, again, that was a couple of weeks. So understand, like, if there's a bull run, a bull trap, whatever you want to call it, understand how small that window could be, right? Hopefully, we're in position by now. And then if there's a crash, don't be fearful and worried that, things are going to be bad for it. The crash may just be for a few days, right? But again, be ready to act and be in position, right? With the buy limit orders and all of that. Who is Desmond? I saw someone else mention Desmond earlier. Yeah, Shannon, you do need some training on setting the sell limit orders. I have a video. I was thinking about doing an updated video, a newer version, but I have a video on my channel on how to set sell limit orders. Crash before the halving. Yeah, we saw it previously. The crashes are short, few days, and go back up. Right. time is near for the coins to move. Yeah, I agree. At the same time, I don't like get super excited now when people say that, because we've expected that multiple times, right? It's just a steady, calm expectancy. What coins to buy when crash happens? The prophetic coins. And reinvest more into the prophetic coins. That at least that's my strategy. I'm not a financial advisor. You do you. Also, I mean, I plan to invest in precious metals. And there's some more investments I plan to make after I'm like wealthy, right? Investments where you have to be wealthy in order to invest in it, like an angel investor, All right. Let's see, where are we at here in my outline? All right. So preparation, right? Make sure your limit orders are set, both sell and buy, right? Be ready to act. Be ready to call your job and quit. No, I'm joking. Don't. That's between you and God. All right. Remember to pray, stay in prayer, right? Don't make decisions based on fear. Marcus, do you think this year's total solar eclipse on April 8th will have prophetic significance to America and the transfer? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know about the transfer per se, but I mean, the stars and the moon and the sun are given for signs, right? That's what scripture says. Not for horoscopes and asking the moon how your year is going to go, like some people in the community have said, but for signs of things that are coming upon the earth. So I definitely think that there's some significance to it. Exactly what, I'm not sure. I haven't looked too much into it, but I know that the eclipse is going to create an X across the US. X is a significant letter. X marks the spot. XDC, XRP, XLM, and some other things that I will speak of sometime in the future. Buy gold and silver with Bitcoin instead of fiat. 2024 is truly a 2020 redo. Then we should see some type of crash very soon. COVID crash was. I don't think that prophetic word about it being a redo. I don't think that a redo is different than a repeat. You redo something when the first time it didn't go as planned, or it didn't go the way it's supposed to. And so it's like, okay, let's do it over again, this time the way it's supposed to go. That was some insight right there. If I say so myself, I'm just saying. My father keep telling me to start a business selling used cars. I wonder why. He don't know. Bruh, people prophesy without even knowing it. I'm telling you. Marcus, will you make a video on your buy price? I feel God is asking me to do that. I'm praying about it. Has this crossed your mind? My buy price for what exactly? For these buy limit orders? April has been highlighted by a man of grace about crazy sons in the earth. It explodes upwards. I saw my order of 885 fill. I heard May judgment last week. Lunk 1 cent. My gold dealer lets me buy Bitcoin. Yeah, that's good. And I mean, that would be great, if the crash happens and buy limit orders are filled and you have a bunch of Bitcoin, yeah. That'd be great. All right. So the overall consensus is a bull run / trap followed by a crash. Now, the specifics of how far the crash is, how long, I'm not making any statements on that. But just a general what to look for next. So be ready to take some profits, ideally, and then ride the crash down peacefully, right? There should be no reason for us to panic when the crash happens, just like in my dream. We were relieved It was actually a positive thing when we were on this elevator going down, right? And it should be for us because hopefully we've taken some profits and we ain't really going to be affected by a temporary crash. And B, we know at the bottom there's going to be more profits to be gained. Lots of legit dealers allow buying in crypto. Nice. Brother, have you seen the video about a fortune teller saying the USA will become the United Nations of America? Yeah, a friend shared that with me. Marcus, did you read about CBDC, Florida news? No, I didn't. You can update me on that. Okay, Blake, I thought you meant me. That's why I was like, who is Desmond? I thought you meant me. All right, so let's gift. And if y'all got any questions, go ahead and post it in the chat. But in the meantime, I'm going to gift these channel memberships. So don't leave yet. And then I have a special announcement after this. All right, I got 10 to give. So we're gifting 5 now. They are chosen at random. I have no say in this. Anointed Flowers again. Betty D. Osmar. Demola again. KN. All right, and 5 more. Again, remember, y'all, I'm probably switching to Patreon soon, but no harm in gifting some free memberships. And the next 5. Blake. Oh, there you go, Blake. Didn't even have to pay. P. Verite, Marcelita, Jim, and Kimmy B. Oh, I think I know who that is. I think I know who that is. All right, congrats to the ones who were gifted the memberships. All right, so the special announcement, y'all. And I have let my members know already, and I have let those who have signed up for the 3-day challenge starting on Wednesday. By the way, if you're not aware of the 3-day challenge, there's a 3-day Power of God challenge that I'm doing starting Wednesday. All right. When the live stream ends, I'll put it on the end screen. I'll put it in the description. Let me see if I can get the link real quick and paste it to the video I did talking about this challenge in case you're unaware. Post it in the chat. I don't even know if you can click links in the chat, in the live chat, but oh, you can. Cool. So that's the video. If you want to watch that after this, to be informed on the challenge, you have to sign up for it. Okay. And over 3 days, we will be, I'll be supplementing what I say in that video. And so the purpose of the challenge is just to show how simple it is to tap into the power of God that is always available to those of us who are born again with the Holy Spirit. All right. And it should only take a few days to see some changes, as it did for me in that video. All right. Sorry, Timothy. I only get 10 free ones a month. All right. So the announcement. Okay. So let me share my screen. Let's see. So I've never mentioned before, but I am certified. Hold on. Where is it at? Okay, let's just try this. Okay, so it's sharing the whole screen. All right, so I'm certified in life coaching and mentorship. I've been certified since 2022. I just have not put it to use. Right now, this certification came about because in 2019, while I was in Bible college, as you see my original note here with the system generated date, so I can't change this. 2019 in Bible college, I was in class and a man named Andrew Brown was substituting for my teacher. He is a spirit-filled man. He leads the healing ministry at my school, teaches people how to heal, and all of that. And he was addressing the whole class, but then he looked at me. He stopped in the middle of it and he said, "Are you in business?" And I'm sure I told him no at the time, but I had received prophetic words, one of which said, "God wants to use me in business and ministry and merge the two." Now, I will admit, at the time I received that prophetic word, I was a bit cautious because I had seen people merge the two, and I had felt they had leaned too far on the business side of things, right? But that's the word I received. And then that's also when I began to receive words about being wealthy, although I knew nothing about the wealth transfer. But Andrew Brown, he asked me if I was in business, and I said no. And he told me I should research getting into life coaching. And my friend who was standing right there said he saw it all over me. And that was the seed that was planted to where 3 years later, I actually went and got certified in life coaching. And if you haven't put two and two together, when Andrew Brown said that to me, it was a prophetic word um, when he said that. All right. So my certification. So that's that. Let me, sorry, bear with me, y'all. All right. Just want to put my certs on screen. So that's the life coaching cert. I got certified through the Destiny Training Academy. It's founded by a woman named Faith Wakoma. She is a doctor, or she has a doctorate. Sorry, she's not a medical doctor, but she has a doctorate. She has coached and mentored for over 15 years, has been certifying people in this for over 7 years. And she pastors a church alongside her husband in California. So I have a life coach certification through her and a mentor certification through her. All right. So now I am finally offering services. Okay. So this is just the beginning of my offer of services. Oops. Let's stop that. Let's go back here. All right. So if you look in the description, I already placed a link to my calendar. All right. So you'll go to my calendar, which you can see here, and you'll select a time slot, right? You'll book a time. You'll click on it, fill in your name, your email address, and that's that. When you come to the calendar, make sure you read this at the top right. Read this, right? It's not too much. I know people don't like to read sometimes, but this will inform you on everything. And this is important. This isn't just a hobby. This is something I'm called to do. I've been prophetically instructed to do. Um, and so this is a serious thing, and it's time for me to do this, and so to offer these services to help people in this direct, focused way. All right. When you fill this out and you pick your time slot, you will then receive an email from me. Okay. We'll confirm the time. We'll figure out how you want to do the meeting, whether it's a Zoom, FaceTime, phone call, or in person if you're local. Okay. I will send you a form to fill out this here. It's an informed consent for life coaching. So you're fully informed on what this is. You're consenting to all of this, right? Because this is practical. The help you're going to get is practical, prophetic, but also professional, right? That's important. All right, you'll fill this out and then you'll receive a link for the payment screen as well, right? So you'll receive a link to this right here. You'll select how many and and share it. All right, here it is. You'll receive a link to this here, this form here, and you'll check out, right? And you'll pay. And also you'll tell me what it is that you want to cover. Okay. So it's a 1 hour call, but what's going into this is much more than an hour. All right. Um, for one, you have all my experience, right? You have the calling and anointing to do this. You have my experience in leadership, my 7 years of experience in ministry, my leadership experience in the military. But then before the session, I will be prayerfully looking at what you want to talk about. And likely when we get into the session, I'll already have some things from the Holy Spirit. But this is also so that we don't spend part of the hour with you having to lay a background, right? The whole hour will just be focused on working through whatever it is. And then on the back end, after the session, I will email you, just recapping the things we went over and sending you some things to implement where necessary to take forward with you. Okay. This is just the beginning of my offerings. There will be more. This is a consultation call. I'm calling it consultation rather than coaching because coaching entails walking with you over a period of time, whether weeks or months, towards a goal, right? So this is consultation. This is a one-off. We're addressing a specific thing that you'd like to address. But the coaching will come, all right? Now, I'm going to put a code for the people in this stream right now. It is a 30% off code, right? If you book from this stream, and there are a limited number of codes. Actually, I'm going to change it. So we have 95 people in the chat right now. So I will go in and edit it to where there will be 95 codes available, okay, for 40% off of booking a session. The session is already, it's starting at 100 per session, okay? Now that's already at the low end of the spectrum. But as I'm rolling these out, I just want to give a special offer for people to be able to book these sessions. Okay. So the code is live 30. All right. Put it in the chat. That's the code you would enter. So the process again is you will go to the calendar. Link is in the description. You will book your time, and then I will email you with the further details as well as payment. All right. And this is just me stepping into, just business and ministry, and as the prophetic word said, merging the two. Now obviously we're still doing the YouTube stuff. We're still doing, I'm still answering comments and emails and all of that. Don't get it twisted, but um just continuing to build on what God has called me to do. All right. And I believe that is it. I believe that is it. My focus is on people understanding what God is saying about their situation, right? Being able to discern God's communication to them, so that they can fulfill their purpose, right? And so, whatever that may entail with you, whether it's understanding and knowing how to apply your dreams and visions, whether it's navigating certain situations, discovering your life purpose if you're not sure about that, whatever the case may be. Okay. And so that is that. Thank you all for being here. Those are the memberships, the 10 memberships. That is the offer. Let me see if I missed anything in the comments. Brother, have you considered the withdrawal limit for KuCoin once the orders are filled, and the theory that some in the community have said that some exchanges would reverse the order? Reverse the order? I've never heard that. I don't know where that comes from or why that would happen. But yeah, every exchange has withdrawal limits, and there are things to do to get around that. Um, you don't necessarily have to withdraw; you can transfer, and then there are services like brokerage services, right, where they can handle a larger amount. Let's see. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Is this part of your multiple streams of income? Yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. Essentially, that's what it will be. That's what it will be. Right now it's YouTube, and now I'm starting this life coaching, and obviously investments, is a big part. Yeah, Blake, I'll definitely let the members know, or let everyone know when that change happens to Patreon. God is good. I didn't have to pay for your membership. I mean, it's really not expensive, but there are different tiers of the membership too. All right. Marcus, which exchange are you using? My main exchange that I actively use right now is Coinbase. just because that's like the main exchange for the US. But I do have, as you saw, Crypto Knight mention KuCoin, right? I do still have stuff on KuCoin, but I don't, I'm not actively trading on KuCoin. But Coinbase is the main one. I also have a little bit on Kraken, I believe, and that's it as far as crypto. Kraken has the highest withdrawal limit. Okay, cool. I wonder how much that is. Kraken Pro has 10. What? Okay, I might need to look. I might need to look more at Kraken. 10 million. But how long is that daily withdrawal limit? 10 minutes. Shoot, I'm on the internet. Let me Google. I mean, 10 million daily withdrawal limit would be crazy. I see 10 million. Hold on. Is that daily though? Is that daily? $100 million monthly. Shoot, that might be all you need right there. I might need to move some more stuff on the Kraken then. I appreciate that. I did not know. I did not know. Awesome. Well, all right, y'all. I think that's it for the stream. I appreciate y'all listening. Oh, Kelly. Yeah, you'll have to catch the beginning. I played some of your voice memos to me. I'm sure you don't mind. I should have asked you before, but I'm sure you don't mind because this is stuff we've talked about. And I gave a disclaimer. I said, Kelly's very tired. She's been working a lot, so her speech is kind of slow, a little slower than usual. What exchanges can you buy Volt Inu? You can buy it on Coinbase Wallet. That's where I bought mine. Kraken has two apps, Kraken and Kraken Pro. Right. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Brokerages, Caleb and Brown, based in Australia. I haven't set up an account with them. Setting up an account is free. But I think they're important because I first became aware of them through my supervisor in the Army, not even through anyone in the wealth transfer. And then last year, somebody in my comments mentioned them and multiple people confirmed them. So I think they're important. So look into them. Volt is on MetaMask. Okay. Wow, 10 million withdrawal limit. I didn't know that. So we'll definitely be transferring some stuff to Kraken when it's time. For sure. That's great. But yeah, obviously you need Kraken Pro, but that ain't nothing. Okay, let's see. Daily 24-hour limits. Express $9,000. Intermediate 100,000. Pro 10 million. Actually, it says 10 million plus. Okay, so for a Kraken Pro account, is it like a monthly fee, monthly subscription? And then it says monthly limits, 30 days. 9,000 for Express, 500,000 for intermediate, and 100 million for Pro. Yeah, that's you just gave some great information, Sarah. What's the fee for a 10 million withdrawal? Yeah, another thing about brokerages is the fees. I think the fees are larger with brokerages, right? Brother Marcus, we need stable coins to park our funds in our ledger because we can't put our money in the banks because they could seize it. Why would you put it in a stable coin rather than XRP or something, rather than in another cryptocurrency that will be a long time player? I'm taking my seed money to Kraken. No fee that I've incurred. Oh, wow. You just need to provide more info. Oh, wow. Shoot, I might do that tonight. Yo, that's crazy. That's the secret right there. Can't believe I didn't know that till right now. That's the secret right there. Kelly's on Kraken, by the way. Just recently opened a Kraken Pro account and no fee. It was immediate. Okay. Awesome. Look at that, man. That might be the second best thing from the stream besides, just the purpose of the stream. All right. Before I get off, one last call to action to click the like button. If you like the stream, if you enjoyed the stream, if you got anything from it, I appreciate the support, appreciate the viewership. And yeah, I think that's it. God bless you. Love you all and stay faithful. Stay faithful. Stay expectant, right? The parable of the sower, right? The seed that gets snatched, it comes from testing, right? As soon as testing comes, the people let go of the seed, right? Read the parable of the sower. Remember my video about test. Okay. All right. God bless. Good night.